In terms of cap move, there was a big announcement today, one that we all expected. Carey Price went on LTIR. A few comments made by Kent Hughes in his presser saying that his knee hasn't been responding to whatever treatments they've been giving him, and basically it's not looking good. We will likely not see him at all this season, if ever. We've talked about this already, but yeah, Carey Price moves to LTIR, which makes us go under the cap, which we were exceeding by 10.2 million before, so that feels pretty good. But yeah, what do you guys think about this, guys?
It's not surprising that it happened with Carey Price, but it's just it's just a shame that he might not come back ever, or might not come back next season. He's always worked so hard to come back, and all the adversity he's faced, and he's done so much for the community of Montreal. He's done so much for the team. I just can't we can't thank Carey enough for everything he's done. But I don't know if this will be the end. He doesn't. I don't know, but still, there's still a lot of variables in the situation. But yeah, just want to thank Harry again for like everything he's done for us, but I don't know how the situation's going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully we've already kind of like anticipated this news coming, so it's not as much of a blow to our hearts as Habs fans. But obviously, like you said, Damon, we got words can't even begin to describe what Carey Price means to the organization, what he's brought to the team already. And yeah, it's going to suck not having him all season, and that perhaps we've seen his last games as a Montreal Canadian. Who knows? But there are positives that come out of it. One of them is cap situation, obviously, which does help out the team a lot, gives us more flexibility to kind of play with the roster and get players who could really help the team going forward. And second of all, it really gives the opportunity to show, one, what Jake Allen's long-term health could look like given the full season at number one, and also what the future looks like for Kane Trimo and Sam Montembeault, where these guys could really, like hold the fort going forward in the future as our potential starting goaltenders, or whether at the end of the season, Kent Hughes and company need to look at getting their long-term guy. So I think despite the very negative, sad news revolved around Carey and his situation, it does bring out some positives and some questions to be raised for the future, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I like that you mentioned Primo, because in his conference, Kent said that the deal is close and he wants to get it done, as soon as possible, even today if he could, but that's not happening, obviously. But no, I think, it'll be interesting to see, our goalies going forward, being Allen and Montembeault for this season, having Primo in the AHL and coming up for injuries or whatever. And then deciding if we want to go out and acquire, an established goaltender, or we trust our development and we trust that Montembeault or Primo can become a number one. But I think sadly, the Carey Price era is coming to an end, or it has already ended, which never feels right to say, but it's the sad truth. But it's okay. We move on, and team's looking good. So another guy too that we mentioned earlier, question marks all around him, is Paul Byron. Another winger, right? We're insanely deep at forward here, but is he going to be ready to play? Is he healthy? Like his hip, I mean, he's had so many severe issues with his hip, procedures after procedures, and then keeps injuring it. Is he good to go? Is he done? What's happening with old Paulie here?
From what I understand, Paul Byron is I think he's going to miss the first 2 weeks, or could be ready within the first 2 weeks, according to Ken's presser. We won't see him in the preseason. But with Paul Byron's situation, he actually, I think it was Sean Monahan who mentioned that he did have contact with Paul Byron regarding his hip. And I think they spoke, and Paul gave him some advice. And Paul Byron is just one of those guys that everyone loves, because he's always worked so hard every shift out there, always done what's best for the team. And I just don't want this to be, I don't know if this will be the end of him. I saw some people saying online that this year could be the final season, but I hope it isn't, because I'm a big fan of his. And of course, breakaway Byron, always scoring breakaway goals. We are going to miss that if it is, but it's really a shame that this hip keeps bothering him, but also hopefully in the future it won't bother him again.
Yeah, Breakaway Byron, definitely someone who we're giving our best support for his health. You know, that goal against Toronto in the playoffs is one that I certainly will never forget. That's going to live long in the memory bank for me with Paul Byron, one of the greatest highlights of his Habs career for sure. But yeah, regarding his health, I do see him coming relatively early on in the season into the lineup. How his hip is going to hold up, we don't know. I have a bad feeling that little tweak and he might be done for a long time.
Mhm.
And it's really unfortunate to see because he does provide a lot of upside and a lot of value to the team. One, his leadership, his speed, and just the constant effort that he brings in every single shift when he's on the ice. You know, any team would be lucky to have him as a depth winger. It's just very unfortunate given his health. You know, you may not have him for very long in the season at all. We're definitely hoping the best for Paul Byron, that he could, you know, provide some value, especially the fact that we do need our wingers this year more than ever. We do hope that his health will hold up and that he could, you know, provide some good value for us. But you never know. Knock on wood that everything will be good for old Polly boy here.
Yeah, that's it. You obviously want the best for the guy, but if you look at the lineup here, I mean, I don't even know where he would fit in. Like we are that deep at our forward group, and we want to give a chance for the young guys to develop as well, get some ice time. So I don't really know where Paulie fits in the plans, which sucks because I think we all love him. He's a fan favorite, rightfully so. But again, you look at his cap hit; it's 3.4 million just for this year, right? He's becoming a UFA at the end of the year. So, if that goes on LTIR, also relieves some cap issues. But it's going to be interesting to follow this situation. We obviously hope the best for him. If he can slot in a lineup and produce, be effective, so be it. We'll be happy. But otherwise, there's so many possibilities with Paul that that's why I put the question mark at the end. We have no idea what's going on, and we won't know until probably the beginning of the season. So weird stuff going on. But